comes off. And I believe that should blow the whistle dead. It does, in fact,
absolutely
happen as Jackson Foltz, the junior, getting in there and taking the helmet of Barry off, and consequently that is a dead play at that point.
If I'm not mistaken, Foltz, a first-year football player this year, and it's a guy that they're really excited about. 6'1", 195, so powerful, so strong, still learning the game, but obviously his instincts are there. Look for him to be an impact player, especially as the season goes on.
A nice job by Foltz to get through there, and really they needed that from him because Barry was standing back there all by himself, and Foltz doesn't get in. He has plenty of time. Roberts with a fair catch. Brings the ball in at the 22-yard line, and with 21 seconds to go, Meadowdale's offense coming back out onto the field. We'll actually go ahead and keep it right here for now since we're just about at the end of the first quarter. And Angelo Camo giving me the thumbs up. Are we live? Live. Hello, everybody. And I should mention well, I shouldn't say if you didn't see the first quarter. You did not see the first quarter, but with the power of technology and with the talents of Teresa Whipple and Angelo Camo, this game will be put up at some point in its entirety. As I look over at Angelo, and he's smiling, so that's in fact the case. We'll get you caught up with everything here at the end of the quarter. It is 3-0 Meadowdale right now as Kella Marshall pushes through for a 10-yard gain. And just to get you caught up, Meadowdale had the opening drive. A nice drive at that. They drove all the way down inside the 3-yard line of Redmond. Unfortunately for them, a fumbled snap, a bad snap that it was I was going to say in the dirt, but nowadays it's turf, went off the foot of Tingstead. Redmond recovered it. They went 3 and out. Meadowdale then gets the ball back, drives again inside the 10-yard line. Will Schaefer, the junior, kicks a 28-yard field goal at that point. And that is the only points of the game so far as we've come to the end of the first quarter. Our score, Meadowdale 3, Redmond nothing. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get you caught up on some other things as well. It's Steve Willits and Roger O'Neill here at Edmond Stadium, and you're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, County gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, linwoodtoday.com for news, sports, events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. Drew Tingstead looking to pass. Gets flushed out of the pocket. Gets ahead for a few yards. Made something out of nothing on that play. We'll give him 4 yards on the carry. And Roger, we had a great first quarter, you and I. I hope folks go back and actually watch and listen. And you're giving us some valuable insight. For those who don't know, Roger O'Neill, the head basketball coach at Meadowdale High School. And, hey, you're not going to say it, so I will. Somewhat of a Meadowdale legend, basketball player back in the day. St. Martin College, right? Played a little ball there.
That's right. That's right.
Tingstead, screen pass to Marshall. Marshall catches it over the middle. First down and then some. Hold on to that ball and does. Brings him down at the 46, a gain of 10. And once again, Meadowdale moving the chains.
Yeah, Marshall, as we saw in that whole first quarter, such a playmaker with the ball in his hands. They've gotten it to him in a variety of ways. Handoffs, checkdowns, a couple bubble routes. He's a big threat for the Mavs offensively.
And as you mentioned in the first quarter, 850 yards and 14 touchdowns last year alone.
Yeah.
Having a nice night here. Halen Roberts also having a nice night as he has had 2 catches over the middle for roughly 30 yards total. Also had a 27-yard sweep on a run play. And Meadowdale's going to call a timeout, and with that, we'll take another quick break. 11:05 to go here, second quarter, 3-0 Mavericks. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain. $10 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. 3-0 Meadowdale. Going to try to get you the starting lineup as they come back out onto the field as well. Drew Tingstead is your quarterback. He is a 6'3", 220-pound senior. Talked a lot about Kella Marshall, the 5'11", 195 senior. He wears the number 6. Your 3 receivers. Number 12, Drew Harvey, is a 6', 160 junior. Number 5, Halen Roberts, 5'8", 175-pound senior. And number 3, Will Schaefer, the 6', 165-pound senior. Where's the number 3? Tingstead looking for those receivers right now. Finds one cutting across the middle, staying on his feet and breaking 2 tackles before he finally goes down inside Redmond territory at the 46. Number 21, Austin Goulet on the play, the 5'8", 155-pound junior, showing some toughness.
Absolutely, and so the Mavs go 4 wide there, and so they bring in that 4th wide receiver, and it's Goulet. He gets a chance, and he goes and makes a play. Got to love to see that.
Nice job by Goulet as we continue to look at the starting lineup. Number 34, Zach Plummer. He's a 6'2", 185-pound senior tight end, all Wesco last year. Kella Marshall with space. There's a flag down in the backfield, so we'll wait and see if this stands. But if it does, it's a touchdown. Again, that flag down at the 49-yard line, right where you normally see holding, so we're going to wait before we celebrate too much.
It's like the refs are telling them to come on back.
Held off on the excitement, knowing that play was, in fact, probably not going to stand. We're going to wait to see what the actual call is. And it was, in fact, a holding call.
That's too bad, but seeing Marshall play all last season, I think we might have a chance to see a couple more of those plays. And hopefully they stand up next time.
So instead of having a touchdown with a 9-0 lead, you're going to get pushed back for 2nd and very long. And the scoreboard will stay at 3 right now. And from where they're spotting the ball, it looks as though it's going to be a 2nd and 15. 10-yard spot for penalty. And did not see the hold. Sometimes those holds are what actually lead to the opening for the running back.
That's right.
So I'm not sure if that was in fact the case. So it's hard to say shoulda, woulda, coulda at those moments, but you always kind of wonder after that if, in fact, you could have maybe had something. But then again, maybe it just means more yardage for the Mavs. We will see. Going to send a player in motion right now. That's number 26, Brock Duncan. And there's a little bit of a scramble here as to whether or not they're going to say it's an incomplete pass. Duncan, the first time we've called his name tonight, and he played quite a bit last week.
That's right. I think Marshall was battling some ailments last week, so Duncan got quite a bit of work, and obviously we just saw Marshall go 50 yards, so maybe he's getting a quick breather here.
Yeah, Marshall, who had a leg injury of some sort early in the first quarter last week, missed most of the Monroe game, and after watching him run down the sideline a minute ago, I'm feeling quite a bit better about that leg.
Yeah, he's looking very healthy to me.
It's 3rd and 15 coming up. Tingstead fakes, throws finally towards the sideline, gets his man at the 43-yard line, gets the first down. That's actually number 84 on the play. That's one of your guys.
That is Daniel Barham. Excuse me, I just said Plummer. Good to see Dan out there. No, he had a hand injury early in football camp, so good to see him here making a play, moving the chains. Oh, boy,
Dan Barham, who had a nice year on the basketball court for you last year.
Did as a sophomore.
Gets the first down on 3rd and 15. We'll give him about 17 on the play. Tingstead looking in Barham's direction again. Hits Plummer at the 40. Plummer gets ahead inside the 30. Let's see where they spot him. Push him out right at the 32, so a gain of 11. So all of a sudden, the passing game picking up.
Yeah.
17 on one play, 11 on another.
Plummer so physical with the ball in his hands. Big, strong kid. Going to get a lot of yards after catch for the Mavs. A guy that can move the chains for sure.
1st and 10, 32-yard line, 9:54 to go here in the first half. Meadowdale with 3, looking for more. Tingstead rolling out, got a lot of time, hits Plummer at the 15, gets down to the 13 before he's finally pushed out of bounds. Brad Baker making the tackle, but not before. A 19-yard gain And for the third time tonight, Meadowdale is inside the red zone.
What a snag by Plummer there. That was outside its frame. He goes out and just snatches the ball out of the air. Turns upfield, gets a few more.
And that's one of those plays where I'm so used to seeing tight ends go across the middle, covering various teams. That's an all Wesco guy right there. You kind of feel good about it, knowing that he's got it in his hands. Here comes Marshall inside the 10, looking for the 5, can't quite get it. I'll say that he went down right about at the 7, a gain of 6. That's going to bring up 2nd and 4.
No quitting that kid there. He just keeps those legs churning on every run.
Marshall is the type of player that when he gets into the secondary, those guys who are usually 150 to 180, right in that range, they get a little nervous. I think Kella's going to put his shoulder down, and he's going to make you feel it.
Getting a spell here from Duncan again.
Brock Duncan, also a senior. He's going to get the handoff. No, he's not. Tingstead keeps it ahead to the 5. Gets down inside the 2-yard line. He's going to pick up a first down. And once again, Meadowdale knocking on the door of the goal line. We'll see if they can get in this time.
Absolutely, and there's that option we were talking about there where Tingstead keeps it, uses his frame, uses his motor, and is able to just get all the way down almost into the end zone. Look for him or Marshall to plow this one in here.
We've got Plummer right up there on the line too, or actually he's gonna line up right off of the guard there, acting as kind of a pseudo fullback, if you will. Marshall with the handoff. Did he get in? We await the call. Touchdown, Mavericks.
There it is.
Kella Marshall, 14 touchdowns last year, his first one of the season in 2016, and he gives the Mavs a 9-0 lead with 8:54 to go here in the half.
Good to see that. I expect 13 more. Is that unreasonable there?
Tonight, that would be a record, I think.
For on the year.
We'll take that.
Nice play design there, though. Way to get to the edge. Punch that in. Let's see if Schaefer can tack it on for 7.
Tingstead acting as the holder as well. Spots it down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So the Mavericks looking for their first win of the year tonight. Off to a nice start. It is a 10-0 lead, and you are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill at Redmond Stadium, where the Mavericks winning the horse race. They are ahead of the Mustangs of Redmond. Had to work that in at some point, right? 10-0 here. Still late in the second quarter. A nice kick by Schaefer over the head of the running back into the end zone. That was number 22, Brad Baker.
You can't let a pun that good go unsaid.
Yeah, no kidding. I noticed not only did I throw that out there, but Wesco Athletics, which I think the coaches actually put the schedules up on the website, if I'm correct, and you can tell me if I'm wrong because you are a coach. And I think even when I printed off my schedule here today, it says right below Redmond, be sure and join us for this horse race. So
it's either the coaches or the athletic directors, but either way, someone's got their pun radar up on.
So it's either Beth Marriott or it's Matt Leonard. Either way, right?
Absolutely.
Talking to Beth before this game, and she sounds like she had a busy day at school today. We might talk about that here in a second. Barry's going to throw this one. Quick slant out to the right. Getting ahead for the first down. That is number 10, Devin LaPierre. He is a 6'5", 185-pound senior. Sounds like a basketball player, doesn't it?
Yeah, those are Those are good measurements there. That's number 3, Will Schaefer there, the safety for the Mavs, stopping the play at safety.
So Redmond, who struggled a little bit on offense tonight, they did start to move the ball a little bit late in the first quarter, getting something going right here. Nice screen pass, 2 over the middle. That is number 7, Joel Hargan on the play.
A late flag on the field. See what the officials saw here.
Interesting spot for a flag, too. It's not in the backfield, but it's not up near where the tackle was made either.
He was looking at the tackle when he threw it.
The tackle was made from behind, so I don't know if we could have gotten a face mask there or not, but perhaps. We will wait and see. 8:25 showing on the clock. And it looks as though he's about to start walking in the direction of Meadowdale. We are going to get a personal foul.
Number 48, defense. That's a 15-yard penalty.
That's Quentin Bourget with a little extracurricular, perhaps.
Yeah, tough to say, tough to speculate what happened down there, but I know Coach Leonard does not seem to be pleased about that. You got number 18, Jared Music, going in there to replace Bourget.
And again, the pros and cons of a guy with a huge motor like that, Bourget, he is very active, always jumping up and down, always showing emotion, and it may have gotten the best of him that time, as the coaches are having a little discussion with him right now.
Good kid, great character, though. He'll respond well to this, and he'll go out there and keep making plays for the Mavs.
And he's certainly somebody who's had a huge career there, and we want him back in there as soon as possible. So we'll keep an eye on that to see when he goes back in. I'm guessing he won't be on the sideline for very long. 8:20 showing on the clock. Second quarter. Barry rolling up. Ball pops up into the air. Fumbled. It might have gone out of bounds. Scramble for it. And it looks as though Redmond either, it's far side, so we're having trouble seeing it. Either they recovered it or it went out of bounds.
There it is.
Gotta like these microphones on the field now. Technology always getting a little bit better every year and helping us out up here in the booth. So Meadowdale did in fact recover it. However, the Maverick player was out of bounds already, so the ball is dead at the 45-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 for Redmond. Taryn Berry, the 6'1", 171-pound junior quarterback, giving the handoff to his running back. That's number 44, Cameron Boone, who, after seeing him quite a bit on the first 2 drives, hadn't seen much of him at all over the last 10 or 12 minutes, and he's finally back in there. And it doesn't seem to matter much as he gets tackled right at the line, and we do have another flag down.
Part of that might be Meadowdale definitely controlling the time of possession battle here so far. I haven't seen a whole lot of Redmond offense in the last 15, 20 minutes or so, but another great penetration there by the defensive line of Meadowdale. Got some big bodies there up the front 4.
Offensive foul. Meadowdale's going to decline the penalty, so we'll bring up 3rd and 9. And yeah, that seems to be a staple for Meadowdale over the years. At least over the last few years while we've been covering them up here, there always seems to be 2 or 3 guys on that defensive front that are just monsters and create a lot of havoc for the offensive lines of the other team.
Absolutely.
And this team no different right now, and we will get you some of those names here in just a moment. 3rd and 9, 7:49 to go here, second quarter. Barry dropping back to pass, looking deep down the right side. Ball is caught and finally going down at the 11-yard line. That is number 10, Devin LaPierre. 34-yard gain, and if he stays on his feet, he's probably dancing in the end zone.
Yeah, the coverage over the top got exposed there a tiny bit, but what a catch there by Redmond. That's a guy going out and making a play. Let's see if the Mavs defense here can, with that impressive front 4, can get a stop here, force him maybe to just a field goal.
Should mention that front 4, the nose tackle, Jeremiah Koo, he's number 15, he's a junior. Number 54, Levi Kowalski, a senior. Number 9, Jackson Fultz, we've called his name a few times. Ball was fumbled. Mavericks think they've got it. We await the ref's call, and they do.
Huge break for the Mavs there.
And just as we call Koo's name, it sounds like Koo came up with the ball. And I guess turnabout is fair play. We saw in the first quarter Meadowdale fumbling inside the 5. This time Redmond giving it up at the 15-yard line. And with 7:17 to go in the half, the Mavericks they're a little bit deep in their own territory, but better to have the ball than to be on defense.
Absolutely. Let's see if they can build on that last drive. What an impressive drive, the way they were backed up by penalties and then were able to keep it going, finish it off for 6.
Offense a little late getting out there, but they are ready to go. Tingstead back in shotgun formation, gives it to Marshall. Marshall shedding one tackler, fights his way hard towards the 20-yard line. He's finally tackled at the 18. That's 3 yards the hard way right there, as he had to shed a few guys to get there.
Not sure I've seen him been brought down tonight by the first defender to touch him.
It doesn't happen very often, does it?
No.
So left hashtag here. 3 receivers set out to the right. 1 over on the left, and we get a quick whistle here as I'm thinking this might be against the team in blue. No. Happy to be wrong there. Encroachment called against the Mustangs. Well, they called it an encroachment. They showed a defensive penalty, and then they're marching it back now. So I'm a little confused, but
You and I both, Steve.
that was definitely a defensive sign that the referee gave. They ended up moving it back. So we will go 2nd and 11 now. Tingstead looking to throw a bubble screen there, and unfortunately the ball was tipped. Will Schaefer, the intended receiver, is going to bring up a 3rd and 11.
First time we've seen the Mavs kind of stall in the first 2 plays of a drive. Now let's see if they can move the chains here and pick up some yardage here.
We did see them convert a 3rd and 15 on that last drive.
Absolutely, the pass to Dan Barhome, and that really propelled a couple more plays, a couple to Plummer, and then Marshall finished it off.
So let's see if Meadowdale can convert this once more. 6:42 showing on that clock. We get yet another whistle.
It's like a timeout for Coach Leonard.
So Coach Leonard's going to call a quick timeout. We'll take a 30-second break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24 hours. $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. 6:42 to go here, 2nd quarter. Meadowdale with the ball on the left hash mark. Did I get it right that time?
There you go.
I felt it that I said hashtag. I guess Roger and I were talking a moment ago. We live in a social media world, don't we? And you and I both quite on there quite a bit. And apparently I'm on there too much because I'm even bringing it to the booth here.
No, it wouldn't be bad to get a hashtag first down here, though.
Take a hashtag touchdown for that matter, but I think we'll at this point we'll settle for 11 or 12 yards. It's 3rd and 11 at the 14. Meadowdale looking to try to convert here. 3 receivers spread out to the right. It looks like Schaefer, Roberts, and Plummer from where we're at. And Tingstead looking in that direction, looking down the middle, has to scramble, throws it out to the left. He's got Marshall. Flags fly everywhere. There's at least 2 of them. Marshall is finally out of bounds at the 30.
Got to think that's going to be a hold on the Mavs.
Hold on the Mavs, or possibly even an illegal man downfield. As that play was a little slow to develop, as Tingstead had to throw a wall on the run as he was getting flushed out of the pocket. But you're right. I think more than anything, it's going to be on the team in blue no matter what. And that is exactly what it is. Ineligible man downfield. So until that ball comes out of the quarterback's hands, the offensive linemen are not allowed to cross the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what happened on that play.
It's a tough one there. It looked like the play broke down, so Tingstead scrambling. As you said, late developing, and that's exactly what happened.
And that's really not the fault of an offensive lineman either. It's hard to gauge for them. They're obviously looking at
trying to go make that next play.
At the player in front of them. Yeah, exactly. Once they see action and movement down the field, they're not sure what's going on at that point. So it's just one of those unfortunate situations, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 16 now. Meadowdale all the way back at the 9-yard line. 6:33 showing on the clock. Roberts going in motion. And we get another whistle. False start this time. And Roger, for as well as things were going on that last drive, things seem to be going in the wrong direction now for Meadowdale as they're shooting themselves in the foot here quite a bit.
Yeah, the self-inflicted wounds, obviously that's something that's going to frustrate any coaching staff, but see if they can at least get a couple yards here away from their end zone so they have some room to punt.
3rd and 20 now at the 5. There is one positive there. You can only go half the distance. So Marshall getting ahead. Not very far, though. We've got whistles again. I think this time the whistles are
forward progress
to stop the forward progress. That's exactly right. And they're going to give Marshall maybe 2 yards on the play. And as you said, Roger, just enough room to get your punter out of the back line of the end zone there.
Doing the punting for the Mavs is number 12, Drew Harvey. So Schaefer just does the field goal and the kickoffs.
Harvey does a little bit of everything. He's a receiver. We've seen him playing in the backfield on defense.
Also a hooper during the winter.
And you've got plenty of those on this team. Fair catch being signaled for, and they're going to finally let the ball drop. Harvey's kick gets a nice Meadowdale roll all the way down to the 45-yard line. We're going to call it a 38-yard kick. And 5:44 to go here in the second quarter of play. Redmond yet to get on the board. They will have a nice field position to start this drive. Point out this is the second game of a doubleheader tonight. It's Kingco versus Wesco night here apparently at Edmond Stadium. Unfortunately for the local folks around here, they didn't have much to celebrate in that first game as it was all Woodinville as they defeated Edmonds Woodaway 31-0. So the Warriors fall to 0-2 on the year. Barry back to pass. Looks incomplete. He's trying to get his receiver LaPierre on yet another pass play and couldn't quite connect that time. Slant play intended for his 6'5" wideout. LaPierre was down on the ground, tried to make the nice play and just couldn't quite bring it in, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10. $5:40 to go. 3 receiver set for the Mustangs this time. 1 out to the left. Barry fakes the handoff. Will pass out to the left flat. Ball is completed and pushing his way forward. That is number 85, Jake Allen, with his first catch of the game. Allen's going to get down to the 38. We'll give him 7. That'll bring. Actually, we give him 6 as they spotted on the 39. Big 3rd and 4 coming up for the Mavs defense.
Absolutely, that'd be huge for them to not give up any yardage here. Even get a little bit backwards. They can get off the field here, get that offense another chance here before the half to put a drive together.
Roger, I'd be very curious as to what happens if Redmond doesn't get a first down here. This might be 4-down territory. We'll see. Taryn Berry dropping back to pass. He's being blitzed. Finally drops it off and hits one of his linemen. Boone was in the vicinity too. It's a matter of who they think hit the ball first. If it, in fact, hit the back of number 70, which it looked like it might have, it's Landon Uren.
And you're absolutely right. It looks like Redmond is going to go for it here. Try to get something going for them offensively.
Apparently the referees thought the ball hit Boone rather than him, so that will, in fact, just be an incomplete pass. 4th and 4. They need to get to the 35-yard line. 4:55 to go. They might even try a hard count here, and they're going to snap it. Fake handoff to Boone. Barry drops back, and he's going to be sacked.
Marcus Ward. Excuse me, that's Jackson Fultz, number 9 there. Big time play for the Mavs.
A whole lot of 9s there, as it was 99 and 9. Ward and Fultz both getting into the backfield. Not only if you're Redmond do you not get the first down, but you even push the ball back that much further in Meadowdale with a huge stand there on 4th down.
Whatever momentum the Mavs might have lost on that last offensive possession, the defense just earned it right back. Let's see if Drew Tinkstead and company here can capitalize.
So 4:49 to go. Plenty of time here in the second quarter. 10-0 Mavs lead. Tinkstead throwing the ball over the middle. Roberts at the 35. Cuts it into the middle. Out to the right. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Mavericks!
What a big-time strike there from Tinkstead to Roberts. He makes 1 or 2 moves, and it's an absolute race to the end zone, and no one's catching him once he gets in the open field. Redmond prides himself on a cover 3 that doesn't allow deep threats like that, so it might have been some sort of breakdown in coverage there, or maybe they were given a different look. not exactly sure, but what a play by Tingstad. What a play by Roberts. And just like that, it's 16-0 Mavs.
Tingstad with a gorgeous fake to Marshall up the middle. I think that drew some of the defense in at first. Drops back, hits Roberts at the 35, and great job by Roberts to cut into the middle and then to cut it outside after the fact. Schaefer puts the ball up through the uprights. And with 4:38 to go here in the second quarter, the Meadowdale Mavericks have 17 points. Their opponents have yet to score. We're going to take a break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Edmonds Community College. Join Edmonds C. Friday, September 16th on Triton Field. For more information, go to www.edc.edu/50.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Halen Roberts, who had 122 yards of receiving last week against Monroe. We actually don't have our stats up here tonight as we thought we might, but just doing it quickly in our heads, Roger, he's got to be roughly around 80 or 90 right now. And
yeah, absolutely. He had certainly over 100 all-purpose yards if you count that sweep play as well. And that's Drew Harvey as well as Nate Hebert there on the pursuit and kickoff.
A great pursuit indeed, as Jadaker, the kick returner, not finding much room to work with, as Harvey getting down there and keeping him inside the 15-yard line. And when it rains, it pours. Redmond really struggling right now. They give up the 52-yarder. And then on the kickoff right afterwards, not able to get much room out here. And Meadowdale is all fired up right now, and we'll see if that defense, who had the big fourth down stop just a few moments ago, can come up with another one right here. Barry under center. He's going to hand this one off. The ball's going right up the middle. And getting ahead to around the 23-yard line for a gain of 8. That is number 7, Joel Hargan.
Taken down there by Matthew Johnson.
Matthew Johnson, 6 foot, 175-pound junior linebacker. As we mentioned earlier, it's nice that we can continue to call different names as the game progresses here on defense. It seems as though it's not just one or two guys tonight. It is a whole swarm of Mavericks who continue to make plays one after the other. Johnson, or rather Hargan, pushes his way past the 25-yard line. He's going to move the chains as he gets out to the 26. 3:47 to go here in the first half.
You made a good point there. It shows the depth of the Mavs defense because everyone's getting involved here, and they're down a few guys right now. They have typical defensive backs, Deshaun Butler and Jaden Jackson not available tonight, and it's just next man up, and everyone's out here making plays.
Not only are those players out tonight, those are usually starters, if I heard correctly from Coach Leonard, as Hargan once again right up the middle. This time he's going to get ahead to the 37.
Absolutely. I believe they're the first-year starters at corner. Obviously a big hole vacated last year as Tyree Carson has now graduated, but I know they're very excited about what these cornerbacks can do, and not available tonight, but just put two new guys out there and they're doing their job.
Yeah, right now you've got Evan Ward playing on the right corner. He's number 11, a junior. Halen Roberts, who we just mentioned with that touchdown a minute ago, he's over on the left corner. Will Schaefer's your safety. Barry dropping back to pass, looking finally into the flat on the right side. He hits Hargan. Hargan gets the first down and more. And he's finally brought down at the 41-yard line, a gain of 9. And 2:46 showing on that clock as Redmond now has to keep an eye on that as they're trying to march down the field here. They do, in fact, have 2 timeouts remaining. Hargan back behind his quarterback. He's in the tailback position. Barry under center, takes the snap, hands to Hargan. Hargan starts out to the right, cuts it into the middle. It's brought down around the 44-yard line. Again, a few different Mavericks in on the tackle, one of which was number 15, Jeremiah Koo.
Steve, I don't mean to get off topic here, but correct me if I'm wrong, is that play clock new this year?
That play clock is new this year. Not a bad feature, huh?
That is outstanding. I was always, as a spectator, frustrated not knowing. I know one of the officials is keeping the time, but it's hard to know.
Well, not only if you're a spectator in the stands or if you're up in the booth here with us, but really I think from the player standpoint, I know a lot of times that back judge, I think, would tell them in the past when they're getting within 5 seconds. But as Barry rolls out, we'll talk about that in a minute here. And he's finally brought down hard by Ward. As Marcus Ward making the tackle after he gets ahead for a couple yards. A 1:40 shown on the clock. But you're absolutely right. If you're a quarterback and you have so much on your mind already, trying to get your team in the right formation, where are your receivers at? Are they in motion? And then you've got to think about, in your head, keeping this mental clock. The fact that you now have one up in each end zone so that the quarterbacks can look down at the scoreboard to the south or up against one of the poles there to the north and know exactly where that's at. It's a huge addition this year to Redmond Stadium. Barry being pressured. He rolls out to the right, finally throws. Nice play by Barry. Unfortunately for him, couldn't quite complete the pass to Jedeker. That's going to bring up 4th and 7 rather. Now, like I said, we just keep adding something new every year. Last year it was the referees being mic'd up on the field. This year it's play clocks. I mean, I don't know what's next here at Redmond Stadium, but whatever it is, they'll figure it out.
Perhaps a replay booth for the officials. Maybe Sound Live Sports could get in on that and provide a
we've got to get our own replay underway first before which we've dabbled in a little bit in the past, but that'd be something. A nice big screen up there where everybody can watch the highlights. That punt finally coming to a stop at the 21-yard line. A 34-yard kick for Redmond, and with 1:02 to go here in the half, you've got to wonder now what Meadowdale's thinking. They're up by 17. Certainly you'd like more points. One thing you have to be careful of, though, if you go into a 2-minute offense is the element of mistake, if you will, and doing something or trying to force something where there's not a play available, or if it's not there, and then seeing the ball go the other way.
Absolutely.
If you're Meadowdale, are you content with the 17-0 lead? What are you trying to do here?
I'm intrigued to find out as well. I know that Coach Leonard is aggressive in nature and likes his offense, and it looks like they are going to be aggressive here.
And Tingstead looking down the field. He's got a lot of room to run if he wants it. He's finally going to put it underneath his arm and get down the field to the 29-yard line, and very wisely goes out of bounds as well.
As the man who gets to coach Drew Tingstead during the winter, I like it when he goes out of bounds on those scrambles.
Yeah, and we should ask you about that, because this team, probably more so than any other team that I cover in the area, probably more basketball players playing football than just about anywhere. And we'll definitely get back to you on this next play here, as the Mavs looking at a 2nd and 2, 53 seconds showing left on the clock here in the first half. Tingstead looking deep. He thought about throwing a screen. Finally finds Marshall wide open on the right side to the 40. Past midfield, and finally is wrestled down at the 48-yard line. 39 seconds left on the clock, and I've got to think Leonard's going to call a quick timeout. And in fact, they are going to say that the ball was out of bounds apparently, so he doesn't have to use a timeout.
Oh, it's one of the things that I think is unique about Meadowdale, and why it's a great place, I think, to be. As an athletic program, we're on the same page. We like kids playing multiple sports, really encourage it. So while I do cringe every time he scrambles, I love seeing our guys out here competing in fall sports as well.
And there's your quarterback to your tight end, one basketball player to another. Tingstead finding Plummer. And once again, Coach Roger O'Neill can breathe a huge sigh of relief as Plummer goes immediately out of bounds. Coach, you like this 2-minute offense, right? You get to see these guys either sliding or trying to
absolutely
kill the clock by going out of bounds.
I might have to talk to Coach Leonard about doing this all game long.
And these guys, hopefully most of them will be ready to go and in the stable, so to speak. We'll keep it here with 33 seconds to go since we are getting close to the end of the first half here. We do remind everyone to stick around at halftime. We will have our Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report, hopefully with our halftime guest. We haven't seen our guest yet, so we won't report who that is, but we'll have something for you here. Who knows? But again, yeah, Roger, we were talking about it. different trains of thought in this day and age. And you see so many different athletes, more so than when I played way back when, and in your era for that matter too, who are so focused on one sport sometimes. And you got these club teams now and baseball teams, a ridiculous amount of games over the summer. And I mean, it sounds like you try to encourage your guys to get out there and play multiple sports.
Absolutely. I played multiple sports myself in high school, and I think there's a lot of evidence out there that suggests that specialization too young, too early is actually a bad thing. No, we definitely, Coach Leonard and I are on the same page, as well as all the other athletic programs, that we want our kids playing as many sports as they can, and we'll be flexible with them in the off-season to kind of share their time. But right now it's football time, and I'm enjoying watching Drew and Plums and all the other guys play.
And Drew's going to look downfield, and he finds yet another one of his receivers, Will Schaefer, getting out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Great execution by the Mavericks right now. Not only are they moving the ball, they seem to understand the concept of, hey, we need to get it down the field, but we need to get it out of bounds as well. And finding those players out in the flats over on the sideline, nice job by Leonard, nice job by Tingstead, the quarterback, and mixing it up a little bit too, hitting multiple receivers.
I think that's the first catch of the night for Will Schaefer. For him in the stable as well there, Steve.
That's right, another basketball player. And he's got 5 points tonight already, 2 extra points and a field goal. Tingstead rolling out to his left and does a nice job to cut it up the field. They do still have 2 timeouts remaining. They'll need to use one of them right now. Surprisingly, they haven't stopped the clock yet. Well, they finally do with 18 seconds to go. So they do have one more timeout left with 18 seconds to go. And we, depending on what happens here in these next 18 seconds, speaking of Mr. Schaefer, we might get to see his range a little bit here. We'll see.
Absolutely. I was watching him warm up. I was curious about that. I actually didn't even know he was kicking until like 2 weeks ago. But it makes sense, as we mentioned earlier, with his older brother being a kicker. But saw him put one through about 43 yards with some room to spare. So maybe if the Mavs could get a couple more here, should be one that he should be pretty confident about.
Yeah, right about now he would be in the 46-yard range, give or take. Again, brother Brett, who may or may not be watching tonight, he's over in Pullman. Presumably, I don't know, I would imagine he's not on the travel squad. I know they're playing a game in Boise this weekend. But
yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I know he traveled a couple games last year as a freshman. So it could be either way there.
And one thing I meant to do tonight, I never got around to it. I wish I had. Western Oregon. So there's a few Mavs down there playing football this year. I think 5 total right now.
Absolutely. It's turning into the University of Meadowdale down there.
Tingstead looking for Plummer over the middle, incomplete. 5 seconds tick off the clock. It puts it down to 13 on the clock.
Hey, you got Harry White, who was a wide receiver last year for the Mavs, and Tyree Carson at cornerback, and then Caleb Tingstead, Drew's older brother,
that's right,
quarterback for the Mavs a couple years back. I think he's a tight end down there now at Western Oregon. And then, of course, Malik Braxton.
Who had a pretty nice year last year, I think.
Absolutely. He got involved down with the Wolves right away.
I think Garrett Walsh is still there, too. Or I thought at one point I'd heard he was looking in that direction. I don't know if he ever made that move or not. Maybe somebody can confirm that for me. But screen pass thrown out. I think that's Roberts this time.
It is.
Roberts gets ahead to around the 22-yard line. 6 seconds left on the clock. So if you're Meadowdale, you've got to be thinking about this right now. If you're going to run another play, it has to be a very quick one.
Looks like Shafe's going to get ready to put this one through.
I like the confidence by the coach up here. He's not going to try a field goal. He's going to put it through.
If you knew Will Schaefer, you know that there's nothing going through his mind right now except that ball splitting the uprights.
We'll see if he can do it. So it's a 39-yard attempt. 6 seconds left on the clock. Meadowdale already with 17, looking for more. Schaefer's kick is up. He's got plenty of distance.
Beautiful.
And it is right down the middle.
What a way to end the half. What a half for the Mavs to respond from last Friday. Saw great things on both sides of the ball.
Indeed we did. Hey, Meadowdale gave up 34 points in the second quarter last week. This week they pitch a shutout and they reverse the tables. They get 17 of their 20 points in the second quarter, and they're going to head to halftime with a 20-0 lead on the Redmond Mustangs. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. Again, you are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. grains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. Edmonds Community College. Join Edmonds CC in celebrating its 50th anniversary at its celebration kickoff event Friday, September 16th, starting at 4 p.m. on Triton Field. For more information, go to www.edcc.edu/50.
And welcome back to the Action at Jackson Plumbing halftime report. Nice little performance there from the Meadowdale cheer squad. I think that's the state champion winning cheer squad. I don't think they got the championship last year, but I want to say they've won 2 or 3 times in the last 5 or 6 years.
There's a lot of banners up in the stable. It's a definitely a decorated program for sure.
Now, as the basketball coach, does that put more pressure on you? The cheer squad's got banners, so we're.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to put one up there. So.
Well, we got a minute here. I mean, our guest, we had a little bit of a mix-up on the schedule, so we do not have a guest tonight. So I'll just ask you right now, Roger, give me a little rundown. I know it's early; we're a couple of months away, but where are you? What's the basketball program looking like this year?
Yeah, we're excited. We're fired up. We had a productive summer, and it'll be my second year here, and we got the kids all on the same page now, and I know the guys are working hard, getting in the weight room and getting better. Those who aren't playing a fall sport, those who are playing a fall sport, it's fun to watch them play. But come November 14th, when the season starts, we'll be ready to go. And the league changes a little bit this year. They merged the South and the North, so we'll have to learn about some new opponents. But it'll be fun and fresh to go up north and play some of those teams in meaningful games. But we got a lot of guys coming back this year. We obviously lost some key pieces to graduation with Harry and Tyree and Lee and Nate. But a lot of other guys looking to fill roles, as they are every year in high school hoops, and encouraging things we saw this summer. And we're definitely looking forward to another fun year.
Now, you mentioned this is your second year as the head coach coming up. How many years you were an assistant coach for a while?
I was the JV coach for 2 years right after college.
You've got a group of seniors now who you've actually seen through the program all the way from start to this point. That's got to be kind of rewarding for you, and to watch their progress and to see how they've done.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely fun to see those guys mature as basketball players, and also as young men. And looking forward, we have great senior leadership this year. A lot of high character guys, and definitely looking forward to doing some special things. A lot of the names we've been calling out here tonight, but Plummer and Tinkstad, and then you got Zach Walsh. Xavier Meekins. Those are some guys that'll lead us not only on but off the court this year, and so I'm definitely excited about that we have some good leadership. Now,
what does it mean to you to coach at your alma mater? That's got to be pretty special.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, it's something I'd always kind of thought about, and then when it actually came to fruition, it was definitely a dream come true, and it's something I take a lot of pride in, and it's fun knowing people in the area that I can use as a resource. It's something I don't take for granted at all, and we're looking forward to keeping it going.
I just called a little bit of an audible here, by the way. I looked down and I saw Beth Marriott, the athletic director, run up the stairs, so I thought I'd just yell down and see if she would come up and join us, and she graciously has.
She graciously has.
We're even going to put you on camera there in a minute. Roger, if you want to get on the other side, you can be next to. This is your boss here, so be careful what you say, right?
Here we go.
There we go.
Roger's taller than all of us, so we might have to
it's all right.
Get the camera back there a little bit. But hey, what do you think of this guy off to our right here?
I just feel really lucky to have this guy to my right, to my left, and more importantly, on the bench, working with my boys. He's an amazing coach. He's an amazing young man. And just thrilled to have him be part of the Maverick team.
No, you sound like you're catching your breath a little bit.
Catching my breath.
Was that a horse race we just saw?
That was a horse race we just saw, and how much fun was that?
we didn't see it until the very. Oh, I don't know, Roger. You might have seen it.
I saw most of it. There was some dramatic music to it. There looked like a lot of frolicking and galloping. Looked like a good time.
Is that a Mustangs Mavericks thing? Is that what that was?
It is. Okay. It's a Mustang Maverick thing, and the vice principal at Redmond used to be in our district, working at Linwood High School. So when we learned we had the opportunity to play them, we could not help but have a little bit of fun and poke some fun with ourselves tonight.
And speaking of having a little fun, your football team, 20-0 right now. It's much better to be up than down, as we saw last week.
Absolutely. They're doing a great job. Very proud of them. We're recovering when we're giving up the ball and getting it back, so that's important. And I'm excited about the enthusiasm on the sidelines, too.
Yeah, I was noticing a great crowd tonight. Your cheer squad out there, always an award-winning cheer squad, and a lot of energy here in the stadium. And
a lot of energy, a lot of families here tonight. We've got a young coaching staff, including Roger. We've got lots of people with young kids, and so we've really got that family environment going, which is just what we need here in Edmonds.
talk a little bit about some of the other fall sports. Volleyball getting a big win.
Our volleyball team got a great win last night against Inglemore. In fact, they went to 5 games and won the final game 15-13. Cross-country team, our numbers are up, and we're really excited about the possibilities. We've got a new coach in our girls swim team, and the reviews on him are fantastic. Everybody's really enjoying him. He's got a lot of energy, and we're just having a lot of fun out there.
And I'm always impressed by your enthusiasm and your energy, because you and I were talking before the game. You are not only the athletic director, but you're also the activities director? Is that the title? Coordinator, okay. And part of your job is to help out with Picture Day, and that was what was happening earlier at school. Tell me a little bit about that.
We had Picture Day at Meadowdale High School. So in the span of 6 hours, we took 1,700 pictures, including staff and students. And we had a lot of fun with that, and we had to make some wardrobe adjustments a few times as well. But one thing I was really struck by was the professionalism that my football team had.
Okay.
I mean, they look good, and I'm going to be proud to put them in the newspaper as Athletes of the Week as we continue throughout the season.
And some of those football players also basketball players. So Roger's taught them well, I take it?
Yeah, Roger has taught them well. Matt has taught them well. The gentlemen and the ladies who are working with the Mavericks this year are doing a fantastic job, and we couldn't be more pleased to have them be a part of what this culture is at Meadowdale.
Well, and I've got to think, first week of school, always a chaotic time, but it has to be an exciting time, too. I know everybody's been on break, but a lot of positive energy. I'm sure some of those the young folks, as well as the teachers, having to adjust from maybe sleeping in a little bit during the other 2 or 3 months of the summer, but still.
I know this girl had to adjust, that's for sure. We did. We started with a Chromebook rollout on the first day. We had a great first day assembly, and we've just hit the campus running.
So everybody gets a Chromebook this year,
Everybody's
right?
gotten their Chromebooks, and we're all, it's a brave new world, as I like to call it, because we're all learning together how to better teach using the technology that's available to us.
Well, and Roger and I both graduating from the Edmond School District, I think we were born a little too late. I didn't get anything when I went to school. These kids are getting Chromebooks these days.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool when I got texting on my phone. So that dates me a little bit.
And it's gonna keep evolving from here, right? It should be an exciting time to be a student and working at a school, and Meadowdale no different than a lot of others, and just a great place to be.
It is. It is a great place to be. All right.
And on that note, I'm going to let you go back in. You were trying to enjoy a game, and again, I appreciate you coming up here on the fly like that.
No problem.
Thank you as always.
As always, and you make me proud like you always do.
Beth,
all right.
Before you go too, I've got to tell you, I want him to be a basketball coach here for many years to come, but if not, I think he's got a spot up here. He's doing a pretty good job tonight.
That's what I was afraid of.
I feel like I could probably coach and commentate at the same time.
Well, we might try that this year.
A brave new world.
We tried to be on the cutting edge at SLSN, and we might just do that this year. Maybe we'll mic you up and let you commentate while you're doing a game.
I like it. I like it.
Non-conference game, of course.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. All right, you two have fun. I'm going to get back to the game. All right.
Let's
see you later.
go. So thank you again. That's Beth Marriott, the activities coordinator and athletic director. And Roger, on that note, there's 2 minutes to go. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we will get to the second half of action. The Meadowdale Mavericks 20, the Redmond Mustangs 0. You are watching the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. Edmonds Community College. Join Edmonds CC in celebration at its celebration kickoff event Friday, September 16th, starting at 4 p.m. on Triton Field. For more information, go to www.edcc.edu/50. High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Roger O'Neill. Once again, we thank Beth Marriott as we had a little scheduling snafu, so we didn't have our the guest that we were expecting, and Beth was very gracious in coming up to talk not only about the football team, but talking about Meadowdale in general, a special place indeed. Roger, you are not only a coach, you're an alum, and kind of fun for you tonight. I noticed you talking to folks in the crowd here earlier, so certainly people I would imagine from both back in your school days and from current, and you got people even tweeting at you right now.
That's right. Shout out NASA there on the tweet. He's in the radio business as well, which I guess I can say I am tonight. So
absolutely.
Not the radio, but the broadcasting rather.
You mentioned he's on the Seahawks broadcast.
He is. He works on the Seahawks radio network.
Is that a travel gig? Is he heading on the road this year with them,
or
does he?
I'm going to get bad friend points right now.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, but I know that he's heavily involved in every game day broadcast. So.
It's early. He's got a busy weekend then. They've got their season opener coming up on Monday or Sunday.
Absolutely excited for that for sure.
See what the Hawks can do against the Miami Dolphins this year. But first, we're going to see what the Mavericks can do. They're already up 20-0, and getting ready to kick off the player of the moment, if you will, Will Schaefer, who did the last-second 39-yard field goal to increase the Mavs' lead to 20-0 right as time expired in the first half. We'll get some other scores out to you here in a few moments as well. They're slowly trickling in, as having the 8 o'clock game means that we do, in fact, get to hear some of these finals and games in progress for that matter. Nice return out to the 36. And being brought down by the kicker, Will Schaefer. That is number 5, Jadaker.
Nice when your kicker is also your safety. You'll make a play in coverage.
Yeah, in the NFL, that's frowned upon usually. If your kicker's out there making tackles, you want them getting out of the way. But, again, Schaefer, a starting safety on this team. And as soon as we give credit to the kick coverage team, they actually get a 5-yard penalty for an inadvertent face mask. It's going to bring the ball to the 44-yard line.
Great first half by this defensive group. As we mentioned, bouncing back from last week's game against Monroe. Let's see if they can put together a full ball game here. Yeah,
pitching the shutout so far. Barry once again in at quarterback, hands it to Boone. Boone right off of left guard there, gets ahead to the 47-yard line. Will give him a gain of 3 on the play. That brings up a 2nd and 7. Just found out that Glacier Peak is ahead of Snohomish right now, 33-13. What might be somewhat of an upset. Everybody seems to think that that's a Snohomish team that is loaded and ready to go this year. A Snohomish team that has never beaten Glacier Peak. Kind of thought this was going to be their year possibly, and it looks as though they're going to have to wait another year now.
Absolutely, and then switching classifications this year as well. So now Glacier Peak, the 4A school, and
the two flip-flopping.
Snohomish, the 3A school.
And Snohomish will now be a part of the Wesco 3A South Division along with Meadowdale. Also got a score earlier. Linwood was ahead of Marysville-Pilchuck 28-10. I know a name that some of the folks around here might know, DeLon Smiley Tatum. I saw his name on Twitter a few moments ago, a former Meadowdale Maverick who's now playing over at Linwood. He had an interception return for a touchdown in that game.
All right.
And also getting a score here not too long ago that Everett, in the Battle of Broadway, as they like to call it, it's Everett versus Cascade, two big rivals up there. Everett defeating Cascade, or at least ahead of Cascade, at halftime rather. It's 14-0.
I believe they call that the Bruegel Fest or something like that in basketball.
Do they? Okay.
Between the Bruins and Seagulls. So
it's got the Broadway moniker for the football game.
Football. Much like Jam the Stands and Rubber Chicken.
Yeah,
Edmonds would wave.
all these different matchups and these different rivalries. You have the Berry Bowl up in Marysville between Getchell and Pilchuck. And that ball is caught right at midfield. That's number 5. Nikhil Jadaker once again making a play. We saw him just a few moments ago on the kick return, and there is a penalty marker back at the 36-yard line. And it's going to be roughing the passer against Meadowdale. It's going to be called against number 9, Jackson Foles.
I believe that's the second personal foul on the Mavs tonight. Definitely something. I know Coach Leonard and his staff take pride in having a disciplined team, and I'm sure they'll sort that out. It still is early in the year.
And we've seen Meadowdale show a bend but don't break defense here early on in this game, I should say in the first half anyway. We've had Redmond on this side of the field a couple of other times, and they've yet to come away with any points. We'll see if Meadowdale can keep that trend going here. That is Boone getting forward. Cameron Boone, the 5'10", 195-pound senior running back, getting that ball all the way down to the 25-yard line. Very, very close to that first down marker. Might have come up just a bit short on the play. It's going to give him a second and very short for the Mustangs.
You mentioned earlier 150 yards, 2 touchdowns on just 17 carries last week for Boone against Arlington. Mavericks have done a great job on him defensively so far tonight. Hopefully they can keep that going.
Redmond with a 4-receiver set here, second and less than a yard to go. And Boone going backwards on this play. If you've got second and inches, that's the last thing you want as an offense, and that's exactly what the Mavericks did to the Mustangs on that play, a loss of around 4.
Redmond goes with the stretch play there, but Koo and Ward both penetrate the offensive line, and there's nowhere to go for Boone on that play.
Koo, Ward, Kowalski, a lot of guys wreaking havoc up on that front line there tonight. Mavericks definitely seem to be winning the battle in the trenches, and we get a flag here as whistle is blown right as the snap goes into the hands of Berry. Unbelievable. That is not what you want to see on 3rd and 5, a gimme, if you will. Meadowdale with a huge stop on 2nd and inches, and then they give it right back to them on a free play as they line up in the neutral zone.
Now, especially early in the year, a non-conference game like this, these are great tests of what you'll do when adversity strikes here. You know, can you respond right now, focus up, and get your job done here 1st and 10 defensively. So
9:27 showing on the clock. Redmond controlling the football for the first 2.5 minutes of the third quarter. Boone looking for room along the left. Gets out near the 21-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 4 on the play. And if you're Meadowdale, at least you know you have that cushion right now with the 20-point lead, but certainly you want to see this defense step up and make a big play, and you don't want to let Redmond back into the game here on the first drive.
No doubt about it.
2 receivers out to the right, 1 out to the left. Berry looking to throw, looking towards the right. Gets flushed, goes across the middle, throws into the end zone and over the head of Ryan Mossman, the 6', 185 wide receiver. Needed to be about 7 feet to make that play, and fortunately for the Mavericks, that is not the case. Incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 7.
Schaefer in coverage there. Looked like they might have had an opening, but did just enough to make that a tough throw for throw and catch for Redmond to make. 3rd and 7. Let's see if we can get a stop here.
8:45 left, third quarter. Taryn Berry under center. Fakes the handoff to Boone, rolls out to his left, throws down the field, intercepted! Ball is picked off at the 8-yard line and returned to the 10. That is Evan Ward, the junior. And for the second time tonight, Redmond with a turnover inside the red zone area.
We saw in that first half, Steve, looked like Evan Ward was in the right spot to make an interception. Didn't happen that first time, but you put yourself in the right spot again, and he comes up with a big play for the Mavs. Like you mentioned, second time Redmond's gotten real deep in Maverick territory and turned the ball over.
Great coverage by the Mavericks all around. There were a few different blue jerseys down there, and Evan Ward making sure that he was Johnny on the spot, put himself in the right position, and makes the pick. Mavericks with their first offensive play of the second half. Going to run to the short side of the field, and Kellen Marshall not able to find much room. He goes out of bounds at the 11. just getting back to the line of scrimmage. 8:30 to show here on the clock. Meadowdale once again with trip receiver set out to the left. They're going to hand the ball off. Marshall this time up the middle. Nice job by Redmond defending that one as Marshall doesn't find much room to run. Gets ahead to the 14 and will give him a gain of 3, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 7. Tingstead getting the play. Still has Marshall directly behind him. Fakes the handoff, throws. This time he hits Roberts over the middle again. Roberts trying to cut it out to the left. Still on his feet. Actually to the right, rather. Gets down to the 43-yard line. Halen Roberts once again coming up with a big play. This time it's a 28-yarder.
Safe to say he's now over 100 yards receiving, Steve. Probably 150 all-purpose. You need a play to be made. 3rd and 7. Who else would you go to there? Halen steps up again. And his speed in the open field is something that defenses are going to have to account for all year long.
I can think of at least 110 receiving right now, and you're right, he did have the 30-yard sweep earlier too. Big night for him. Speaking of big nights, here comes Marshall again. Big run. Gets across midfield to the 49-yard line. He's going to pick up around 8 yards. We saw it earlier too. Anytime Meadowdale converts that 3rd and long play, it just seems to give them an extra momentum and
absolutely
carries them forward.
They seem to like to hurry up to the line after a play like that. Try to catch the defense off guard for a quick, easy 8 yards that time.
And it's working. This play, however, not working as Marshall gets stacked up at the line. Might have even lost a yard on the play. Clock now showing 7:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Tingstead looking over to the sideline. Again, not wasting a lot of time. Meadowdale right back to the line of scrimmage. They're ready to go. Here's the handoff to Marshall. Marshall started to go to the right, cut it back into the middle towards the left. Got very close to that 1st down marker, and if it's where the first ref was going to initially spot it, might have been about a yard short. Hearing some of the fans directly below us here, Meadowdale fans, aren't real happy with that spot. It's going to be close.
Just assisting the officials in making the call here.
Just got a text from Mount Lake Terrace. Apparently they lost tonight as they drop a game to Cedar Crest 31-13.
In what amounts to basically, if I'm understanding this two-way situation, a league game. The way the point, it's not a league game, but the way the RPI and the point system is going to work for the two-way postings, maybe you can shed some more light.
And I need to look at it a little bit closer. And I actually meant to ask Julie Stronczyk about this earlier, the athletic director for the Edmond School District. I'm not sure that it does. It's interesting in that there are really 6 teams that are vying for. We don't even know this yet. It's either 3 or 4 playoff spots. It's going to be rotating every other year, and the WIAA has yet to tell them this, but we're under the impression that we know it's an RPI system of some sort. The question becomes, does it only count in your own league games?
Oh, so we're not sure if the non-conference
We're not sure if the
counts.
non-conference games. So Mount Lake Terrace's big win over Seaholm last week and their loss to Cedar Crest today, both 2A. Marshall finding room in the middle, puts his shoulder down, gets ahead to the 30. There's a gain of 18 on the play and another 1st down. But yeah, that 2A situation, it's very interesting. It's intriguing in a way. I actually like the fact they're using an RPI system. You're talking about 6 teams in 4 different conferences. So rather than trying to determine which team is better, or rather trying to even put them in their own conference together, I mean, geographically it doesn't make sense. So why not start to weigh the victories based on how large the schools are you're defeating and whether or not they have winning records? Fake handoff. Tingstead gets that ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. That is number 7, Hargan.
Yeah, I'm sure a system like that will take a couple years to get the kinks worked out, but I'm definitely in favor of something like that. The WA is also looking at going to an RPI, a computer-based formula, perhaps for the state tournament in basketball.
Long overdue.
That's something that's on the books to try to avoid those. Like last year, for instance, Linwood girls and Bellevue girls facing off, I believe, in the semifinals when they were the clear
number 1
top
and 2
2 teams
yeah.
in the state. No offense to the Arlington girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, and quite frankly, Linwood defeating Arlington in the district championship game by 45 points, and Arlington gets the easier path to the championship. Nice run up the middle. This time, we're going to get a little change of pace here as Brock Duncan getting another carry. We haven't called his name since the second quarter.
After that explosive play by Marshall, he came off looking a little shaken up. I don't know if it was a shoulder or what, but he's jogging back on the field, so that's great to see.
Yeah, and watching him jog back on the field, he looks like he's healthy again. So it's whatever he tweaked or banged up, he's hiding it well if he's hurting. He looks strong again, and we'll see what he can do.
Went over to see trainer Robbie there on the sideline, who does a great job with all our teams at Meadowdale, and if he gives him the okay, he's okay.
Yeah, Robbie Bissett, who's been at it for a while. This ball over the middle. Halen Roberts to the 10. Tackled at the 9-yard line. He gets ahead for 21 yards. And Meadowdale once again knocking on the door inside the 10-yard line.
You bet. What a connection here tonight between Tingstad and Roberts. He just finds a way to get open, it seems, every time we need a play.
And not only are they moving the ball down the field and trying to increase their lead, a little bit early to be looking at the clock, but at any point in the second half, if you've got a 20-point lead, you want that thing to keep running. They've eaten up a good 3 minutes plus right now. Marshall looking for room out to the right. Just gets pushed out of bounds.
You make a good point. They've been aggressive on this drive, but they've also been doing some high percentage completion plays, a lot of run plays. The clock has been churning. We're already down to under 5 minutes here in the third quarter. So a good balance here of Coach Leonard here between still attacking and yet managing the game.
Yeah, I want to say they took – it's 4:55 showing on the clock. It was around 8:40 when they took the ball over, so they're almost at the 4-minute mark. And if you can put another 6, maybe 7 or 8 on the board here, you've got to be feeling pretty good. And Marshall up the middle. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown, Mavericks.
Marshall again finding a way in the end zone. That's 2 on the year, 2 on the night. Again, he was limited last week a little bit. He's getting his first full workload here this Friday night. 2 touchdowns for him already, and he looks to be everything he was last year and then some.
Yeah, nice to see the coaches give him the rock there, as he almost scored on the play right before that, so why not reward him, and that's exactly what they do. Schaefer puts the ball up, places it through the uprights, and we have a 27-0 game with 4:50 to go here in the third. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about. Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. 89-yard drive for Meadowdale, taking just about 4 minutes. Capped off with a Keller Marshall 4-yard touchdown. Meadowdale now up 27-0. Once again, Steve Willits with Roger O'Neill. And Roger, don't want to say this one's over yet, but certainly if you're Meadowdale, you're feeling much more confident that you're about to go 1-1 on the night. And it looks like a team that is vastly different than the team we saw just a week ago.
Absolutely, and obviously Monroe is a heck of a football team this year. A tough opponent last week, but credit Meadowdale for bouncing back this week, coming out definitely focused, coming out strong. And certainly, the game's not over, and we definitely feel good about the score right now.
We'll give you a score on the Monroe game in a minute here, too, as that is a team that Meadowdale might want to keep an eye on this year just to kind of gauge themselves and to see what they did. Monroe playing a Mount Si team tonight that is a very strong team, a team that consistently making the playoffs and making a run at state. Monroe right now with 3:50 remaining in the game, leading Mount Si 19-7. So that's got to feel better if you're a Maverick knowing that if, in fact, you're going to lose a game like that, you lost it to a real strong opponent.
Absolutely. Assuming the Mavs finish off this game strong, that'll be definitely another positive to take away tonight after they get to the locker room, and I'm sure they'll be checking Twitter as well.
We'll keep those scores coming as much as we can. LaPierre catching the ball out in the flat. Gets down past the first down marker. Gain of about 9 on the play. It was a 2nd and 8, so just gets down past the first down mark. And we already mentioned Everett with a 14-0 lead on Cascade, and since one of the dads was gracious enough to send me an update on that one, I should mention Murdoch Rutledge, 2 screen passes to Jacob Leonard, all Wesco running back from last year. They convert on both of their touchdowns, and they give Everett the 14-0 lead over Cascade at the half. Ball runs right up the middle. That, once again, is number 7, Joel Hargan.
You mentioned this game, certainly the scoreboard in the Mavs' favor right now, but there's still football to be played left. And I think as a coaching staff here early in the season, in this non-league affair, you're really looking for guys to consistently be in the right spots, making plays, building habits that'll carry over to league play.
And that's exactly what they're doing. Speaking of Everett, by the way, the team I just mentioned, that is the next opponent for the Mavericks. Next Friday night, 7 p.m. That game will be at Everett Memorial Stadium. And Barry not finding any room, and he's going down. This time, the big fella, that's Fu making the tackle, or making the sack on the play.
Jeremiah gets great pursuit there, the quarterback. Kind of just shoves his way on through and then able to bring him down.
Great pursuit on Barry all night. It's been Fu, it's been Koo, it's been Ward. We've seen Fultz in there.
Absolutely. Some big, strong boys there on the front four for the Mavs.
Penetrating that line all night and getting back there and not making it easy for Taryn Barry when he's dropped back to pass tonight. Barry this time looking downfield, throws it over the middle. Incomplete. It was number 9, Ryan Mossman, with the diving attempt, and that's going to bring up 4th and 12 and another nice defensive drive for the Mavericks.
Absolutely. By jumping on Redmond here tonight, we talked about how much the Mustangs want to run the ball. Now they got to kind of speed things up and take some chances down 27-0. So Meadowdale's really forced them out of their game at this point and able to get another 3 and out.
We should talk about this Redmond team a little bit too. They were a 4A team last year,
right. Coming
down to Kinko 3A as the realignment classification year taking place. So that's a 4-year cycle from here on out. So they'll be playing in that conference for at least the next 3 years plus after this. This is a team that lost to Arlington last week, 27-21. And you and I talked about it a little bit off the air. We looked at Kinko 4A, just no matter what sport, really, always tough opponents in there. And you know some of those teams more than I do from coaching against them. And basketball, it's not an easy.
A lot of big schools over, obviously 4A, but even big on the 4A side there. And so yeah, they had a 1-7 league record last year in the King of 4A, but you're talking about playing teams like Skyline and Issaquah and Woodinville, who we saw earlier tonight, Bothell, really strong, predominantly strong football programs. But now they get to come down to 3A and they get to play Bellevue every year,
which might be a different looking Bellevue program over the next couple of years.
Bellevue playing by the rules now, so we'll see.
Teamstead throws a screen pass out to Marshall on the left side. Marshall getting ahead right around the 36 will give him a 4-yard gain. Yeah, Juanita, a very tough team this year. Mercer Island, Interlake, Lake Washington also in that conference. The one thing, and we didn't get a chance to talk to head coach Jason Rimkus before the game, but I was wanting to ask him. I noticed that Liberty and Sammamish are also in that Kinko conference. Strange thing, though, I was looking at some of the other teams, and I don't know if it's because Redmond's coming down this year or not. Redmond plays neither of those teams on their schedule, yet some of the other Kinko teams are playing them. And here comes a big run from Marshall, spins ahead, finally brought down after he crosses midfield at the 49-yard line, a gain of 15 yards.
Yeah, it's interesting why they would do that. I don't know how many teams are in that 2A, 3A league, but maybe if there's more than could fit on a schedule, they just did a draw for who you're playing.
Yeah, and I did notice that, I think which one, I was looking at one of those other two teams earlier today, and again, it's a transition year for them, and I think it was Sammamish I was looking at as Tingstead throws it over the middle, intercepted, and this one's going to be going the other way. And finally being brought down at the 38-yard line. That is number 22, Brad Baker. And that ball ricocheting off the hands of number 21. That's Austin Goulet. Right into the breadbasket of Baker, and Baker returns it all the way to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, it's a tough one there for the Mavs, trying to just go a little route over the middle there to Goulet. Looked like the pass tipped right off the hands. Might have been a little behind him, tough to say, but right into the breadbasket of Baker there. He's able to return a couple. And now again, the defense put in a situation where they have to get on the field right away and respond. See if they can keep Redmond on a shutout.
They have responded so far tonight. Let's see if they can continue. They're going to go for all of this play. Incomplete, just out of the reach of Halen Roberts. Almost had that. There is a flag down actually 2 flags down. Back by where the trenches are. We'll see what the calls are here, or if maybe it's one penalty.
The booth perspective is new to me a little bit here, Steve. And one thing I'm noticing, even from just a little bit up higher, you can really tell speed on certain guys. We've already talked about Halen Roberts, but boy, he tracked down that ball. I didn't think there was any chance he'd be able to have a chance to pick that off.
He might be the only one out there that could have picked it off. Halen, he's a fast guy.
He gets those legs churning, and he has great closing speed there. It'll be fun to watch him play all year long.
They're going to call a personal foul, 15-yard penalty against the Mavericks. That takes the ball all the way down to the 23-yard line with 1:08 to go here in the third quarter. And all of a sudden, if you're Redmond, feeling like you're getting closer to not only getting on the scoreboard, but making this a 3-score game again. Ball is completed at the 20. Nice job by number 25, Matt Johnson, to bring down the receiver, number 5, Jadakar. Redmond recognizing the fact that they're starting to play against the clock as well. They waste no time. Barry's going to throw it into the right flat. This time he finds Mossman. Mossman diving towards that first down marker. Far side of the field, and it looks as though he might have even gotten to where he needs to be to get that first down. I haven't seen the chains move yet, though. And there we get the call from the referee. Again, Jeff Sedaris is our ref tonight. Eric Weisberg is the umpire. Michael Fernandez is the linesman. Justin Hughes is our line judge. And Steve Fishman is the back judge. 24 seconds left here in the third quarter. Barry going out to his left. He's going to keep this one. Cuts it back into the middle, and nice open field tackle. Guess who? Bourget.
He had Fultz chasing out of the pocket there, and Bourget cleans it up.
Really impressed with not only the toughness of this defense, but the speed.
Absolutely. And we already talked about the depth. We got noticed a couple new jerseys out here on this drive. Number 19, Will Maloney, in there at linebacker now. They just keep churning new guys out there, getting out and getting their job done. Always
nice to have depth when you're playing high school football. Hey, we've come to the end of the third quarter. 27-0 Mavericks lead, but the Mustangs are knocking on the door. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you to the final 12 minutes of football. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. We begin the fourth quarter of play with Redmond trying a dive play and not finding much room to run. Nice job by the Mavericks as they are trying to preserve the shutout. I was going to say trying to get the win, but I think they'd like a shutout too if they could, Roger.
Absolutely. That would be a huge confidence builder for this team and a testament to the way they've responded just 7 days after, quite frankly, a little humbling experience last week at Monroe. So.
Yeah, and you talk about a team that just seems to draw the tough opponents on their season openers. We'll talk about that in a minute here. Handoff. No, Barry keeps it, and Barry's going down.
Matthew Johnson.
Unofficially, I think that's the 4th or 5th player with a sack tonight, as Johnson now getting in on the act. Takes Barry down at the 15-yard line, and rather than having a 3rd and short, Redmond's now looking at a 4th and long.
Matthew Johnson, another guy that plays hoops during the winter, and he's got that same high motor no matter what he's doing. Great to see him go out there and get a sack.
Everybody's eating tonight here for the Mavs. 10:48 to go in the ball game, and they're going for it. 4th and 12 from the 15-yard line. They need to get right around the 3. They're going to throw the fade into the back corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Meadowdale football.
And so far the shutout is still preserved. What a great job. You mentioned bend break earlier, and that's 3 or 4 times now that Redmond's gotten down inside the 20-yard line or near there, and Meadowdale just has held the ground.
Nothing to show for it at all. Should point out, we talked a little bit about Redmond making a transition into Wesco or Kingco 3A this year. The landscape in Wesco South looks a little different. I know you and I were talking at halftime. The basketball programs are getting rid of the North and South divisions entirely. Football keeping the divisions, and we'll get people caught up to speed on that in just a moment here as Tingsted's going to throw it out into the flat. Plummer trying to break one tackle, does, but is met immediately. That's number 45 on the tackle, Luke Kennedy, making the play.
I'm excited about the basketball format, but also I really like what football's done. And I know it's different because there's only 1 week or 1 game a week, but the ability to bring Squalicum and Ferndale down to Wesco North
for 1 year for football only, yeah.
Right, as football only. Really does a nice job of making sure that we know who the best teams are at the end of the year.
Well, and I think not only that, just from a logistical standpoint, as we'll talk about that in a minute, Marshall puts his shoulder down, and he's carrying a whole slew of Mustangs with him. Need a Mustang trailer for that one. He gets down to the 31-yard line, a gain of 17 yards and a first down. And yeah, you're absolutely right. So Squalicum and Ferndale join Wesco North for football only. And what that does is it bumps Everett into the South Division.
Along with Snohomish.
And the other change was Snohomish goes from being a Wesco 4A to 3A. They flip-flop with Glacier Peak. So you lose one Snohomish team, you gain another. Marshall all the way down to the 41.
So powerful. He gets to the end of that run, and some people might want to step out of bounds, and he says, no, let me finish this one off one more time. Gets another 2 yards just by lowering his shoulder, putting the Redmond defender right on his back.
It doesn't matter if it's a 0-0 game or 27-0. Kello's playing tough. Showing a lot of intensity there with 9:39 left on the clock. But you're absolutely right. Bringing Squalicum and Ferndale down, what it does is it takes away from a much unnecessary play-in game that they were playing over the last few years. Squalicum just becomes a 3A school this year as Marshall's going to get one more carry. Bounces off the first set of tacklers, stays on his feet all the way to the 46. A gain of 5 and another hard-fought carry, and a positive carry at that for Marshall. This time I think he needs a little break as he points towards the coaching staff. And
2 straight plays of putting a defender on their back. I think you earned a little breather there, Kella.
He's definitely earned a break there.
But yeah, in a perfect world, Squalicum and Ferndale could do the same thing for all their sports. But obviously, you mentioned logistically, a Tuesday night travel up to Bellingham isn't ideal for any of the Wesco schools.
Football's tough. I mean, it's tough on the body. It's hard turnaround. I mean, you don't want to have to play a regular season game on a Friday, a 1-game play-in on a Tuesday, and then have to go to the state tournament and play 4 days later again and have 3 games in an 8-day period. It's rough, and that's what they're trying to avoid. As Tingstead is going to go down back at the 36-yard line. That's Sonny Sarker getting the sack there for Redmond. And so I think what they decided to do this year was, rather than try to determine where you're going to slot a team like Squalicum or Ferndale, you just asked them, hey, why don't you come on down, play in our North Division. We'll even move a team down to the South so you get one less district game or division game, so you can even have an extra non-conference to put closer to home, and we can kind of play it out and see exactly where you do belong rather than trying to get creative and add all these extra games when you really don't need them, and I like what they've done this year.
No, I really enjoy that format. And it's kind of, I think, probably for the kids of Squalico and Ferndale and also the other Wesco North kids, get a new rivalry going somehow, or a league opponent.
Tingstead finds his man open on the left side of the field. That is number 12, Drew Harvey. Haven't called his name in a while. Harvey getting all the way down to the 30-yard line. A gain of about 31 yards on the play. I'm going to spot it at the 31, so we'll call it 30 yards even. Great play by Tingstead. Just kept his composure, let the play develop, saw Harvey break into the open on the left side, and just floated it in there rather nicely.
Absolutely, and it looked like the defender was closing in on it. Great job by Harvey, keeping his concentration, snagging that ball in the air, and then turning upfield to get a few more.
7:45 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Meadowdale well in control of this game, 27-0. Dan Barham back in the game, one of your basketball players.
Absolutely.
Lined up on the top of the right screen there. Number 4 getting his first carry.
Harvey, a basketball player as well. It seems like all the pass catchers for the Mavs out here, besides Halen Roberts, play basketball. Maybe I should go talk to him about I don't know, a defensive stopper of sorts maybe.
Why not?
Low center of gravity there. You could body up some folks.
Tell you what, if you need anybody down low in the paint this year, I think you got some choices out there. It's Jesus Hernandez there getting the carry, 5'9", 175, senior.
Absolutely.
First carry of the night for Hernandez. Stays in the ballgame. We'll see if he gets another one here. Tingstead looking at that play clock. He's going to let it tick down a little further. Finally waits till it gets to 4 and hands off to number 4. That's Hernandez right up the middle. Pushing his way forward to the 25. A 5-yard gain will bring up a 3rd and 4. And the thing you like about what Meadowdale's done here in the second half, controlling the game clock, moving the chains, keeping the defense on the field, letting your defense get rested at times.
I gotta think Coach Leonard is really pleased with what he's seen tonight. Their ability to go score quickly, their ability to manage the game, showing a lot of different ways that they can win football games here offensively.
Nice way to give your team confidence heading into league play next week. Tingstead's going to run this one, keeps it himself. Always makes you cringe a little bit when you're up by 27 and your quarterback keeps it this late in the game, but Drew seems to be okay as he gets ahead to the 16.
I'd also appreciate Drew to hand that one off with 5 minutes to go here.
Basketball coach up here not liking that. That's one of your starters there.
Absolutely. A big part of what we did last year and will be this year as well.
And the Tingstead, again, you and I talked about it earlier, missed some action last year with the hand. And if I remember correctly, he actually had one game. I want to say, did he break the hand the game before? Maybe it was during the game he broke it. Still managed to have, I think, a sack and a fumble recovery at one point as he was playing on defense.
So what actually happened, he actually broke it in practice. I believe it was the Wednesday or the Thursday before a game. It was the last snap of practice from what I've been told, and he followed through onto a teammate's helmet. But you're absolutely right in your recollection. He came back. He was wearing a bandage or a cast on his wrist, and he was causing havoc on the defensive line.
Tingstead, I think, is done for the night. He has signaled that he was ready to come out. Nate Hibbert in to play quarterback. High snap, hands it off, and immediately met in the backfield. Is the running back. That's number 4, Hernandez, still carrying the ball. Looked as though number 51 was in on the tackle. That is Keenan Barun. Also number 87, Graham Sheffer for Redmond, making a big stop there. 4:31 and counting right now. And we're not going to say it over the air, and we haven't talked about this yet, so I'll just bring it up. But the Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game interview will take place after the game. I won't have you say it out loud, but Roger, I'm going to have you help me make this decision. So start thinking about who we should perhaps invite up here to interview after the game.
Will do.
A few different candidates, really. Hibbert's going to throw this time. Ball bounces into the air. That was very dangerous. Hernandez had it pop up out of his hands and off his shoulder pads, and finally hits the ground incomplete, and now we've got a 4th and 9, and I think for the 3rd time tonight, Will Schaefer's going to try a field goal.
If any of you have Will Schaefer as your kicker in your Wesco Fantasy League, this is a nice night for you. Let's see if he can remain perfect on the evening.
Yeah, 3 field goals for a high school kicker is always a big night,
Yeah.
and we'll see if Schaefer can make some fantasy owners happy here. Spot is down, the ball is up. Drew Schaefer is perfect for the night. 3 field goals, 3 PATs, and more importantly for Meadowdale, a 30-0 lead with 4:02 to go. We're going to take another break. When we come back, the conclusion of this game, can Meadowdale pitch the shutout? We'll find out. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Will Schaefer putting his foot to that one all the way down to the 3-yard line. Coming out to the 20 and getting ahead to the 30. That is number 9, Ryan Mossman. Looked as though Drew Harvey in on the tackle on that play. And Meadowdale right now, pride is on the line. They want this shutout.
Absolutely. That'd be something for the defense to hang their hat on. And, really nice heading into a league play game next week against Everett, as you mentioned, on the road. Something they can build on this week in practice. I'm sure they're going to see a lot of things on film that they did well, probably different from last Friday night, at least results-wise.
Indeed. So let's see if they can do it here. 3 receivers still out there. Barry still in the game at quarterback. Dangerous throw right back to the line of scrimmage. And number 19, Will Maloney, who you talked about a little while ago, all over that play.
Yeah, I was in talking to Coach Leonard. He said Maloney can get some time at linebacker here. An up-and-coming player for him that he's excited about.
By the way, Everett, I'll keep reporting that game since we're constantly getting updates from one of the parents over there as that ball is thrown incomplete. Everett now up 21-0 as Murdoch Rutledge getting a touchdown run there, the quarterback for Everett. So you've got an Everett team that's going to come in next week, coming off of a 2-0 start. They defeated a team from Canada last week. They've got to be feeling pretty good, and they've got their confidence going. And Meadowdale in the same boat now with a nice victory tonight. 2 teams feeling their oats, and 2 teams that are looking to go 1-0 on the year in conference play next Friday night. 3:25 left. Barry looking downfield, taking his time. Took too much time there. Once again, our 3 Mavericks ready to escort him to the turf, one of which was Marcus Ward on that play.
Yeah, I can't say enough about this front 4 for the Mavs. They really rely on those guys to get pressure on the quarterback, and they've done an excellent job here tonight.
4th and 9, 2:58 and counting. Redmond pretty much waving the white flag at this point. They've got the punt team out there. Roberts back on the left. Can't tell who's on the right at this point. It looks like it might be Schaefer.
It is.
It is, in fact, Schaefer, and that ball takes a nice Mavericks bounce back to the 50. 21-yard punt with 2:40 to go. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll be right back. You do not want to go anywhere. We've got the player of the game interview coming up. Who's it going to be? You'll find out. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. We're keeping secrets up here now, Roger. You and I have already determined who we're going to have as our player of the game. And again, a lot of strong candidates tonight, as it could be a number of players. And really, it's too bad we don't have more player of the game T-shirts. We could pretty much bring the entire defense up here at this point and give them a shirt. The way that defensive front has attacked all night. But on offense, you've had obviously big runs from Kella Marshall. Again, we're not keeping stats here tonight, so we apologize for that. But Marshall having a outstanding night running the ball. Halen Roberts catching the ball. He's had some sweeps. Tingsted's really thrown the ball nicely. Your line has given him plenty of time tonight. We could give this to just about anyone, couldn't we?
We could. We might as well just give it to Coach Leonard, since they're all appropriate choices here. But you're right. It's something that we've seen a number of different guys offensively get involved, to where Everett next week cannot just key on Kella or on Halen, or you get Plummer involved. You get all these guys. Defensively, there's been a ton of different people stepping up, making plays. We mentioned a couple different times the gang tackling Meadowdale's really put on display tonight. So you're right. I think there's a lot of guys who should feel good about what they've done out here under the lights.
2:22 and counting now, is Meadowdale very content letting that play clock run off as much as possible. Matter of fact, I think this game is such a one-sided affair at this point. I'm not even sure that some of the folks next door are working, as that 25-second clock just started about 10 seconds ago, so it was a little late. And Meadowdale's going to let it tick off as much as possible. We're now under 2 minutes to go. Hibbert hands the ball to Hernandez. Finds a little bit of an opening and takes advantage of it all the way down to the 39-yard line, a gain of 9. And Roger, as a coach, says, you know what it's like to be up by 20, 30 points in a game from time to time. It's always nice to be able to get some of the bench players in and to give them experience too. And football in particular, anytime you can get out there, and whether you're second or third string, you get to experience Friday Night Lights. It's special.
Oh, these reps are valuable. It's different. It's different under the lights on Friday, I'm sure, than it is on the practice field. And that's one of the things, kind of coach speak, but it's true. I don't believe in garbage time. There's really no such thing as garbage time, because every play, every snap they have out there, every second in a basketball game as well, is worthwhile time that you can get better.
Very well said, by the way, as the ball's going to be pushed forward. I think that might have been Hernandez. Let's see if we can get a number there. It is, in fact, and he gets down to the 36-yard line. Yeah, if you are one of those players who comes in with under 5 minutes to go, good luck trying to convince that player that it's garbage time, right? This means everything to them.
Absolutely, and it's a big moment for them now. Maybe it's their first time out here under the lights at Evans Stadium. But like I was saying, these are huge reps, to where that depth that comes into play if someone were to go down, or next year when it's their chance to be the starter, perhaps. It's not their first time out there doing it.
47 seconds and counting. Second down, and it looks as though the first team offense is back out there just to simply take a knee, as they're going to wait as long as they can here. 4 seconds, they finally take a snap. Tingstead touches his knee down. 32 seconds. We'll see if they in fact have to snap it again. I don't think they will. And that should be it. We're now down under the 25-second mark. The ball has not yet been spotted. And it's just a matter now of waiting, as the Meadowdale Mavericks, not only do they pick up their first win of the year, they do it in convincing fashion, a 30-0 victory over the Redmond Mustangs. Meadowdale going to 1-1 on the year, and they now get ready for league play again next Friday night against the Seagulls of Everett.
Yeah, we'll have to, I'm sure coaches will be watching a whole bunch of film this weekend and see what we can take away from this one. But obviously from our perspective up here, lots of great positive takeaways. Meadow should feel pretty good going into next Friday night's game in Everett.
So, Roger, a great night from you. I appreciate you being up here. Are you going to stick around for the Player of the Game interview?
Sure, if you'd like me to. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you having me up here.
Well, great to have you. So let's have you do that. We're going to take a quick break here in a moment. Again, we will have our Player of the Game interview, and stay tuned to find out who it is, because, as we mentioned, it's not an easy choice tonight. There were plenty of candidates, very worthy candidates, and I have a feeling this is not going to be the last time we present a Player of the Game jersey to a Meadowdale Maverick this season. So we're going to take a break right now. Once again, you are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Clogged drain or other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com. Edmonds Community College. Join Edmonds CC in celebrating its 50th anniversary at a celebration kickoff event Friday, September 16th, starting at 4 p.m. on Triton Field. For more information, go to www.edcc.edu/50.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. The Meadowdale Mavericks get in the win column for the first time this year, and in convincing fashion, 30-0 tonight. A shutout.
Yeah.
Halen Roberts, you got to like that. We'll have you put that microphone up to your mouth.
Sorry.
That's all right. First time up here.
Yeah.
Hey, heck of a night for you.
Thank you.
Boy, I think we were trying to keep track. We don't have a statistician up here tonight, but Roger and I think you got about 110, 120 yards receiving and probably another 30 or 40 rushing.
Fantastic.
How are you feeling tonight?
I feel great.
It's winning 30-0, a little better than losing after last week.
Yeah, it's a little better, and a little better not having a nail biter at the end.
Yeah,
like most games.
I can imagine. Walk us through that touchdown you had earlier. Third and long, I think. Tingstead rolls out to his left. You're cutting across the middle there, and take us through the rest of it.
So we were looking, and we knew they were going to slide over, so that leaves a hole right here, and I just sat there, saw the guy coming, cut right, and I was off to the races. Good downfield blocking by my other receivers.
Coach, what did you think of his game tonight?
No, it was impressive. We were commenting up here, just the speed you have out there on the field. You get the ball in your hands, it's really tough for them to bring you down. And then, obviously, defensively, you're all over the place as well. So
Thank you.
Very impressive effort.
Now, and a lot of weapons for you guys this year, too. It's not just you out there catching passes. Tell us a little bit about not only what your running back's able to do, but some of the other receivers.
We have a great group of junior receivers. The only seniors are me and Zach Plummer. Mm-hmm. But we got a great group of young guys coming up. They dominated on JV last year, and they're just ready to take the fold. A lot of basketball players that are moving, transitioning,
And, it's got to be nice to have a quarterback that can get the ball in your hands down.
Quarterback and the line did a fantastic job tonight.
Coach and I were talking earlier. You're missing a couple of players on defense, a couple of your starters in the secondary, and yet you guys were able to go out and pitch a shutout. That had to be a big deal for you guys, especially after last week giving up your share of points and yardage. Was defense really stressed this week in practice?
Yeah, it was really hard. We did a lot of defense this week, and we were just thinking, next guy up, next guy up. But no matter what happens, we got guys. We like our guys.
Absolutely. And now you get into league play. Everett next week. an Everett team that's winning 21-0, by the way, tonight against Cascade. Oh. And so it's nice to get these games out of the way, but nice to get a win under your belt, I've got to think, and maybe give a little confidence going into the league.
Yeah, it's a lot better to have. I mean, if we would have gone another one tonight, it would have been real rough heading into 0-2, just like last year we did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so we'll see what you guys can do. We're going to give you the shirt now. So your first one, and maybe we can get a few more of these before the end of the year. It is the Adrenaline fundraising shirt there. So get Halen Roberts to pose. We're going to get you one more picture here. As again, Halen becoming a pro at this, and when you put up over 150 yards, you have to pose for pictures. But you get a T-shirt, but more importantly, you get a shutout and you get a win. It's a nice way to end the night, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
So we'll let you go, Halen Roberts. Again, thank you very much for coming up here. Enjoy that shirt. Enjoy the victory. We'll go ahead and grab that from you here as well. Get on down there and celebrate. And I like the red, white, and blue on the head there, too.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Nice job. So Halen Roberts, again, is our player of the game. And Roger, like we mentioned a minute ago, that really could have gone to we'll have you scoot on over here so we'll get you in the camera there.
Absolutely.
Well, that shirt could have gone to a lot of different people. Just a great performance all around tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about what Kella did out there tonight on the ground. Drew, obviously, throwing the ball, and could have given it to the whole front four, and maybe picked out a Ward or Koo. Guys making plays all over the field. Obviously, Schaefer, we talked about his leg tonight. A lot of positives here for the Mavs, and so I know whole Meadowdale community tonight's fired up the way they bounced back, and looking forward to a big league game in Everett on Friday.
And I think for the Edmond School District, we needed to see a powerful team step up because, again, Edmonds Woodway really struggling tonight. I know that doesn't break the heart of a lot of Meadowdale fans. Your rivalry, so I'm sure.
Sleep just fine tonight.
I think you'll sleep just fine knowing that, but you'll sleep even better knowing that your team went out here and threw the shutout. And certainly a division that's up for grabs this year. Linwood looks very powerful and very tough, and Snohomish losing to Glacier Peak tonight. If you're Meadowdale, and again, you have to put the loss from game one behind you a little bit, or at least take it away as a learning experience. Mm-hmm. You're right now thinking in terms of, hey, we're not just going in there to compete this year. We want to win, and they've got to like their chances going into the league next year.
Oh yeah, this is a football program that every year expects to be in the hunt for a league title, and I know that's something that Coach Leonard wants to continue as well. A program that's consistently in the state playoffs, and so. After the first week, like we said, a humbling experience, but tonight they showed a lot of things that teams in Meadowdale's past have done really well at, and they definitely have a lot of playmakers all over the place. So there's no reason why they can't set some lofty goals, especially at this point. So
we will see. The next two games on the road, they play at Everett. I should say on the road, but really this game 2 weeks from now is against Mount Lake Terrace right here at Edmond Stadium, a game that we will be broadcasting on the Sound Live Sports Network. That will be an 8 o'clock game. Next week, another doubleheader as we have Shorewood versus Linwood at 5 p.m., followed by Mount Lake Terrace and Edmonds Woodway, a Edmonds School District rivalry matchup there. So tune in to watch that. And if you're a Meadowdale fan, get on up to Everett Stadium next week. Support the team. Big game coming up against the Seagulls. Always fun to watch those teams play, too. So, again, Roger, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Pleasure. Thanks for having
me, Steve. Appreciate it. Roger O'Neill, the head basketball coach at Meadowdale High School. For Angelo Camo, for Teresa Whipple, for everybody who helped with the production and the broadcast tonight, my name is Steve Willits. Once again, your final score, 30-0, the Mavericks over the Mustangs. Have a good night.